Kungen versus Savjz. It is round 2 of this first quarterfinal matchup, and it is going to be, in fact, the rogue rogue versus rogue matchup. So, looking at these rogue decks side by side, they're very different. I mean, this is going to be interesting, man.
A tremendous amount of difference, as you can just see from the opening hands. Defias Ringleader on one side, and Gadget Zane Auctioneer on the other. Defias Ringleader is sort of an interesting choice. I would guess that that's more aimed at sort of the greedy board control decks that have been becoming popular lately, like Warlock, relying a lot on trading minions, and the Hunter decks even now relying a lot on trading minions.
Now, I mean, who do you think kind of has the edge here in this sort of a matchup? I mean, in the Miracle Rogue versus what is Savjz playing?
I would tend to give this advantage over to Miracle Rogue.
Oh, that's a pretty nice play there for Savjz. Going to be able to combo.
This is Savjz Town scrub.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that combo is just eternal sadness every time you see it. It's such a good early play to be able to get the Argent Squire and that Ringleader out there, and now Kungen is mousing over that, and he's probably realizing that it's not going to be a Miracle Rogue. He's probably maybe cluing in on that a little bit, but. What kind of play do you think he'll go for here now?
Well, I think he's a little surprised by the fact that his opponent's actually playing tempo.
Yeah.
Given how popular that Miracle is, so a lot of different options available here for you.
I mean, do you shiv to kill off the 2/1? Do you then poke the Divine Shield to get rid of that? I mean, what kind of a thing are we looking for?
I think
here?
you can make an argument for even coining out an SI7 agent here, but
Okay.
I think Shiv's probably a better play.
Yeah.
Before I shivved, of course, before I attacked, of course, I would be using Shiv.
Yeah.
If he draws something like a Deadly Poison, it may.
Oh, that's a really nice draw. That backstab to kill the 2/2 as well.
That's almost a perfect draw, I would say, at this point.
I mean, he's thinking about it, but I think he has to go for that, right? I mean, that seems like a clear play there to get rid of that 2/2. I mean.
Well, something he wants to think about as well is how he activates these 2 SI7 agents in his hand going forward. So
that makes sense.
He has a coin for one of them, but the backstab is effectively a coin for the other one. But this is something you have to think about.
Yeah, I mean, he just was able to buff that up, and now you're not able to kill that with backstab. I mean, you can take out the Argent Squire, obviously, but still then you're left with a 3/3 taunt, plus the 2/3 Argus, Defender of Argus. So, I mean, now he does still have that coin. He obviously can coin SI. He could backstab SI. I mean, what do you think the play that makes the most sense here is? Do you think you backstab and take out the 2/2, and then just get out the SI, use the battle cry that way, and maybe try to finish off with the weapon damage?
A lot of interesting choices coming in here. The one that looks very good to me is backstab the 3/3, poke it with your weapon, and then SI7 agent off the 2/2.
Okay. So well, I mean, that ends up being the same thing, does it not?
I believe it does.
Yeah.
If he wants to backstab first, though, he definitely needs to be backstabbing first if he does it. Alternative plays, he can also coin out Azure Drake and use a 3-point backstab on a 3/3. He could play Gadget Zane Auctioneer, draw a card off the backstab, and then poke off this 2/2. But it looks like
he's going to be doing that play, I think, that you talked about. I mean, he's
right. This ends up being the exact same thing. So backstab coming out, this is almost certainly followed by SI7. I can't imagine another one.
I mean, definitely makes sense. And then he does have a 3/3 on the board against only the 2/3, so you can't do a clean trade there. You'd have to obviously take some damage or play an additional card. It looks like he's thinking about coining out a hero power or something. I mean, he was dragging that coin out. Maybe he's just kind of thinking over his move, but I wouldn't think that would really make sense. I mean, you kind of want it for the combo for the second SI agent, right?
Right. I think he's thinking about whether or not he draws Deadly Poison next turn and how he doesn't want to float the mana. So a pretty easy turnover from Savjz, though. Just take care of this 3/3 and develop your Azure Drake. And now he's got a pretty monster lead given his hand. You saw Black Knight and Argent Commander in his hand. A lot of damage potentially coming through, but Kungen's hand's not too shabby either. You see a Gadget Zane Auctioneer with a preparation and a coin now. So a lot of crazy things potential to happen this turn.
Wait, why would he play the coin first here?
I'm a little interested by that. I'm guessing if he coins, it's going to be indicative of the fact that he wants to play Van Cleef this turn.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what he goes with. I mean,
he may just be trying to send mixed signals as well.
Yeah. So he's going to coin. He's going to Farseer, and then going to go with the Van Cleef. So interesting. So he does have that 6/6 out. He's able to get the heal up as well. We do see the sap. I mean, do you think you just sap back that Van Cleef?
This is a pretty interesting turn. You have a lot of different plays you can make. I think sapping the Van Cleef is a great one to start with.
Or is he going to Abyss? I mean, do you think you use the Abyss on the 3/3, or do you think you just trade?
I think he wants to Eviscerate because he wants to
doesn't want to have a hero power
board presence. So the Defias Ringleader, I think, is a very big candidate to come out this turn. And he doesn't have the mana to re-dagger and poison, so I like this play a lot.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, he has full board control now. 3 minions down on the board. He has the Black Knight and the Argent Commander, as well as the Deadly Poison in hand. You know, and the question is just now, how is Kungen going to deal with this? You know, how does he regain board control from this position? I mean, we see he has the Blade Flurry in hand, but that's not going to really help him out too much here. Looks like he's going to go with the Preparation, perhaps. I mean, what do you think is the best play here?
This is a difficult spot to say because now he's facing down a lot of potential damage from his opponent. If his opponent's got something like Argent Commander in Cold Blood, or Leroy in Cold Blood or even Leroy Shadow Step, potential lethal possibilities next turn. So he's really got to think about how he diffuses this board position. It's not necessarily just about drawing cards at this point. So Auctioneer, I think, is a fine play, but Azure Drake has some consideration with it too. And one of the major things he has to think about is in order to use Blade Flurry this turn, he actually has to pay 2 mana to get a dagger first. So something that's certainly weighing on his mind. This is a really tough board position, and I'm not quite sure how you end up making it out of this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options here, but it doesn't seem like there's any really clear good ones. I mean, it's looking like maybe he's just going to try to buff up the Van Cleef. I mean, he's just trying to get as many cards down as possible. He's going to combo out, and yeah, he's just going to get out the buff Van Cleef. So, you know, obviously hoping that there's no sort of removal for that right now. And you just have the 8/8 Van Cleef out, the 3/3 as well. The Argent Commander looking like that's going to come down.
I like this play a lot from Kungen here.
Do you think you trade? Do you think you put down the Argent Commander and trade the Drake and the Divine Shield, or do you just go face?
I think you definitely go face here with the second Argent Commander in hand. You also have a Deadly Poison, and you also have a 2/1 here. But this Azure Drake could potentially attack this 3/3, but that's really the only one that I think can attack a minion at this point. And perhaps he's regretting attacking with the Argent Commander so quickly. But I would tend to go face here. You have a tremendous amount of damage in your hand. This 3/3 I don't think is going to be making a large difference, but I think the safe play is to kill it because he wants to avoid potential lethal from Kungen this turn.
Now, do you not think that it would have made more sense to perhaps attack with the Divine Shielded minion into the 3/3? You know, keep that at 2 HP?
There's two schools of thought on it. Is that if he uses the dagger and takes 4 damage from it, it's already effectively attacked anyway, so he's not going to need it. I think what he's trying to prevent happening is a backstab from killing it. So leaving a damaged minion actually isn't a bad thing, but able to diffuse this board position, pretty unlucky that his opponent has Blade Fury instead of, say, like a backstab or something. But the reason I liked this play from Kungen is because it gives him a chance to climb out of a board position simply by the sake of your opponent not having the right answers, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So this second Argent Commander is actually having to be used on minions instead, and even though I think that Savjz has a pretty big advantage, Kungen's got 2 Auctioneers, an Azure Drake, and now a Sap in his hand. And while Argent Commander is not the best Sap target, potential to draw a lot of cards is going to be coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the Sap on Argent Commander doesn't really seem that useful though, because you know you can just charge and he gets the Divine Shield back. So it's like
not an optimal Sap target, but perhaps if he could recover from this position, where he has to attack this 4/2. No question about this. But now if his opponent doesn't have any charge minions left, this Sap can potentially put him back in the game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, do you think now, you know, if he plays the Yeti, obviously he can sap that back. But you know, had he not done that, would you still want to sap the Drake? You think just basically, even though you're giving them Battlecry again?
It'd be pretty tough to not sap the Drake, especially considering you're going to have to play Gadget's and Auctioneer this turn. So now at this point, he's digging for big cards. So you're likely going to see this Azure Drake trade, and then you're going to see the Sinister Strike continue to draw cards. And if he can chain off these spells into something pretty big, you could see this game turn around next turn. This could end up ending.
Yeah. I mean, that's the danger of Miracle Rogue, man. It doesn't matter how much HP you have. If they pull off one of those huge combos, the turnaround could be massive. You know, it's something we talked about a little bit earlier. It doesn't matter how late in the game it is. Now, this seems like a pretty nice draw. You can play the Loot Hoarder, the Yeti, and then Defender of Argus. I mean, do you think that's the play here?
I think Defender of Argus is reasonable, but I think another play he wants to look at is the possibility of using Deadly Poison, because his opponent's only at 7 life. So 2 hits from a 6-point weapon is going to leave him at 1. A lot of things can be lethal at that point. I do like the Defender of Argus as well, though, because, again, he has to be concerned about getting lethal. Because he's only at 18 and he's facing down an Auctioneer. So I think Defender of Argus is a safer play.
Yeah, it is the safer play for sure, because he doesn't know what his opponent does have. And I mean, now here, do you think that you play the second Gadget Stand Auctioneer to get the double card draws? It looks like he's not going to go for that.
I think a much better use of his mana is trying to dig for stuff. Wow, Eviscerate, that's really good.
Yeah.
A lot of options available for him now, and you see Blade Flurry in his hand. This could get looking really dangerous now for Savjz all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's looking pretty scary, man. I don't know. This is actually ending up to be quite a close game. I mean, there's just so many different options here. What he can do. He's going to Blade Flurry, it does look like. I mean, I think he pretty much has to.
I agree with the Blade Flurry.
Yeah. Oh, and he draws the Blood Mage now, so, you know, more spell power available there. He's going to go for the Blood Mage.
The Blood Mage is actually a really big draw here because he's got Shiv in his hand.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to be able to Shiv that, not have to trade out the Auctioneer. And, you know, he won't be able to play that Eviscerate now, but still. He does have preparation, so he could actually go for it if he wants. And I mean, this is where it starts to get...
And there's Malygos!
Oh my god, man. This is where it starts to get very crazy. It's like, it just keeps going and going, and now all of a sudden, Savjz is at 11 HP. What does he even do here? He doesn't really have that much to get done. I mean,
I think this might be the end of the game. I can't see climbing out of this. He doesn't have a way to kill this Auctioneer, really.
He's just going to go face.
I think that's pretty much his only option.
Yeah, just pray. Now you're just praying to pray. Heart of the cards, man. You're just hoping that Kungen has nothing, but we already know Kungen has more than enough to finish him off. So, I mean, this is going to be...
bearing some extremely big mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see game 2 go over to Kungen. That's going to be giving him a
huge
2-0 lead.
Yeah, man. Oh, my God. Not what we expected, to be sure.
As it stands, I like Black Knight and I like the backstab on the
what else can you do?
on the Blood Mage,
Yeah.
But that's gonna do it. Malygos, in addition to Eviscerate for 9 points of damage.
Oh no, man, the preparation. Malygos prep. Oh, he has double this even.
Oh, he's got to play the one from the right. Oh, he doesn't do it.
That would have been way more annoying. I just think he got top decked even harder, but. The 9 damage of this, the 4 damage from the Gadgetzan Auctioneer, and Kungen, he is up 2-0. We talked about how big of a favorite Savjz was, and Kungen he's poised to take this series, man. Can you imagine if Kungen sweeps Savjz?